Okay, my witches, I am here for the January Astro Chat. So for the month of January, I'm going to be going through all of the major transits, the full moon and the new moon. If you want more detailed sort of astrology for the week, I do have on my Patreon, I do have a level that is for astrology reports if you want a week by week play-by-play of what's going on. I also have a newsletter that I send out every full moon and new moon, letting you know what the astrology is for that, and that's totally free. So you can sign up for that on my website, linked below. But let's get on with what's going on in January. So January, big month, ton of Capricorn energy going on. We start the year with the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, the asteroid Ceres, and the South Node all in Capricorn. It's like a big Capricorn pile up going on for the month of January. And this whole year, there's going to be a ton of Capricorn energy because Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, they're staying in Capricorn until later in the year when Saturn and Jupiter move into Aquarius. But for most of the year, it's going to be Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. So what that means is we're really exploring this year power dynamics, things around rules, restrictions, boundaries, organizations, governments, that kind of thing on a global level. What do those things mean to us? How do we execute power in the world? How do we set up boundaries? That kind of thing. Those are going to be big, big themes this year. Now, we do have the big thing that's happening, and you've probably, if you're paying attention to astrology in the media at all, have heard about the Saturn and Pluto conjunction on Sunday, January 12th. So the actual conjunction itself happens that day, but those two energies have been working together for a long time. So Saturn's about rules, restrictions, boundaries, government. Pluto's about power. It's about transition. It's about death. It's about letting go. And so there may be a power shift around that time. There may be a restructuring of things. We may be restructuring in our own personal lives, how we are doing things, what our routines are, how we are adjusting to power in our own lives. But this is a process that's been going on for a while, and it's going to continue into the year. It's just that it may come to a head or be more obvious around Sunday, January 12th. So I don't want anyone to freak out about it. There may be some world events that happen around there, but it may just be continuation of all the stuff that's already going on that we see in the news. What I would say on a personal level is look at the Capricorn house in your chart to see what that area rules and how you can readjust areas of things like power, responsibility, setting boundaries, that kind of thing in your life. Everybody's chart is different too, so some things are going to affect some people more than others. So keep that in mind. It's going to be at 22 degrees of Capricorn. So if 22 degrees is a point in your chart that's particularly sensitive, then you might want to pay more attention than, if it's not. It also that day is conjuncting with Mercury and the next day with the Sun. So it's going to be a lot of talk, a lot of focus, a lot of attention on these particular issues at this time. So that's the big, big news for January. You're probably going to hear a lot about it. You may not notice anything though. If it's not a particular point in your chart, you probably won't notice, but I think most people will to a certain degree or another what's going on in that area. Other things that are happening this month, we have Friday, January 3rd, Mars moves into the sign of Sagittarius. So Mars was in Scorpio, and when Mars is in Scorpio, I'm just going to show you with the solar, what are these called? The Oracle of the Radiant Sun cards. When he's in Scorpio, his keyword is in this deck, revenge, because Mars in Scorpio is all about getting things done behind the scenes. You know, it's not about the means, it's about the ends. And then in Sagittarius, it's about domination. So the good thing with Mars in Sagittarius is we're more open about our motives. We're more passionate about our desires. However, it can mean that some people are trying to force their particular point of worldview on another person. This could be anything from philosophy to politics to religion to any kind of worldview. Don't push it on others. Don't let others push theirs on you. So there may be some, we already see that going on in the world so much, but that may become more of a thing in January. So, don't take it personally if somebody doesn't agree with your philosophy, basically, is what it boils down to. But it does make us more passionate and driven towards certain things. Use that passionate energy towards getting things done. On Friday, January 10th, we have a full moon. It is also a lunar eclipse at 20 degrees of Cancer. So full moons are a time of finding balance and time of choices. So we have to kind of find a balance between work and home, between our emotional life and our public life. Lunar eclipses can be very emotional. They can also be a time when hidden information comes to light. Something that was secret, something that wasn't known. This is going to come to light around the lunar eclipse, and particularly with all of that Capricorn energy going on, because the sun is in the opposite of Capricorn's opposite of Cancer. The sun is going to be opposite the moon, but we also have that conjunction going on with Saturn and with Pluto. A lot of emotions around issues around power dynamics, issues around how we structure things. So expect that's going to be kind of an intense weekend at that point. We also have on Friday, January 10th, Uranus moving forward. He was in retrograde for months. Now, we don't really feel the retrogrades of the outer planets as much as we do the personal planets like Mercury, Venus, and Mars. But you may notice that things are shifting up. There's a little bit more progress being made in the areas like technology, sciences, that kind of thing. So it kind of affects things more on a worldview area. Also, we may feel a little more like we want to exert our sense of individuality, show how we're different from others, be more independent, that kind of thing. We talked about the big conjunction going on Sunday, January 12th. On Monday, January 13th, Venus moves into the sign of Pisces. So she's been in Aquarius for a little while, and she likes to be kind of unique and different in Aquarius, and she likes people that are different. She likes to be romanced by appealing to her mind, appealing to her intellect, as opposed to her heart during that time. So Venus in Aquarius, here we have detachment. And Venus in Pisces is very different. Venus in Pisces, here it says submission, which I don't necessarily agree with that word here. But Venus in Pisces is very emotional. Also, there's sort of a danger of people with Venus in Pisces that they become totally subsumed by their partner. You know, that kind of person that, they get a boyfriend or a girlfriend and then suddenly they're just like that person. That's the extreme danger of Venus and Pisces, just so you know. So don't freak out if you have Venus and Pisces. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're that way. But people are very, with Venus and Pisces, are very sensitive to their partner's needs, their emotions, their desires. They want to meld with that person. They want to be spiritually connected with that person. And all those things can be good as long as they don't take over who we are. So when Venus is in Pisces, it's telling all of us that same message, that there's this desire to spiritually and emotionally connect with others and to really feel what they feel and be a unit and be one, which can be beautiful. But don't forget about who you are as well. So that's one of the messages of Venus in Pisces. And she's going to be in Pisces for the next 3-4 weeks. Next, we have on Thursday, January 16th, Mercury moving into the sign of Aquarius. So Mercury, like I said right now, he's part of that big Capricorn pileup, and Mercury in Capricorn tends to be more measured in his words. He tends to focus more on getting things done. He's not about small chit-chat. He's about talking about business, getting things done, getting things organized. He's a man or lady of few words, so to speak. Mercury, where's my Mercury cards? Mercury in Capricorn, here it says organization, definitely. Being organized, getting things done. In Aquarius, it's about originality. So it's about fresh ideas, communicating those fresh ideas, talking about unusual events and things that inspire you. And a good time to delve into, if you're looking to learn a new technology, picking the time of Mercury in Aquarius is a good time to do that. So lots of talk about new ideas, new sciences, all that kind of stuff. And then on January 20th, the sun moves into the sign of Aquarius. So we move into kind of more Aquarius season. So again, there's a little bit of a lightening up of all that Capricorn energy as we get towards the end of the month. Our focus is more on individuality. Look at the Aquarius area of your chart. The shift is going to focus there somewhat. And more towards humanity, not so much business and getting things done and practicality, but what are our big dreams for the future and for all of humanity, especially as we move toward 2021, when Jupiter and Saturn are going to be moving into Aquarius, and those issues of technology and humanity and where we're going as a whole are really going to come into the spotlight. We also have just, you know, it is what they call Chinese New Year, the next day on the 21st. So if you celebrate that, that's on the 21st. Friday, January 24th, we have a new moon in the sign of Aquarius. This is not an eclipse of any kind. It's a regular new moon, but it is a good time to think of a big wish that you have for this coming year and set an intention to work towards that. It's a new moon that has a little bit more optimism to it, as opposed to this past new moon, which is a little bit more serious. So that's what I'm seeing for the month ahead. Lots of Capricorn energy, but that starts to lighten up as we get towards the end of the month. But the first part of the month, I think, is really intense as well, with that Mars moving into Sagittarius. We have all of that Capricorn energy going on. We have that big conjunction, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. We always do. So that's what I'm seeing for the month ahead for everybody. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. Also, let me know if you like these Astro Chats and you want me to continue doing them for 2020. I would love to hear from you all. And as always, peace and love and rock.